And now, inside CPS. Welcome back to Inside CPS. I'm Jessica Perez, and I'll be your guide as we explore what's been happening lately around the district. In this episode, we'll learn about the valuable opportunities made available to our students through a beneficial program called CPS Connects. We'll also hear about what the district is doing to help keep students at school and reduce absenteeism from Aarti Dhupelia, the chief from the Office of College and Career Success. And in this episode's teacher feature, we'll introduce you to Maggie Kendall, a high school science teacher who recently made headlines after receiving a special surprise for her students thanks to the strong support she received from social media. Finally, we'll share a glimpse of how the district celebrated its 25th anniversary of local school councils. And as always, catch you up on the latest CPS news. We begin today with our teacher feature, where we meet Maggie Kendall, a teacher at the Chicago High School for Agricultural Sciences. Watch and see how the $100,000 grant she received from Farmers Insurance will transform her animal science curriculum to a whole new level.
As an animal science teacher, I, on a daily basis, get to bring my passions together, which is I love animals, I love horses, and I love teaching.
You have different animals that you're giving injections on. Like yesterday we talked about using a fine 20 gauge needle versus a 16 gauge needle.
Miss Kendall, she knows a lot about what she does with the animals. She's always so excited about working with the animals with the students, and she's always on point with everything that she teaches us with the animals, and she tries to get us to do so much with them, as much as we could hands-on with them.
Because the students are really given a reason to learn, they are just so much more invested in what they're learning. When I'm teaching about nutrition, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, we talk about the diet of the animals and how each animal in a different stage of life or a different species, because of their different digestive systems, require different types of food, and they just, for lack of a better term, they just eat it up.
The companionship you have with the animals, like it's just not the horses, the pigs we had, the turkeys, the goats, everything, you get a connection and it's like you can't leave. It's like you're home away from home, literally. Teaching is a job that involves teaching a student and making them feel comfortable in your environment, and a book doesn't necessarily bridge that gap between a student who wants to learn and a student that is emotionally withdrawn. And what I see with our animals is it gives us a common ground to come together and have learning that happens at an emotional level. So our students actually become friends with their animals. They care.
We'll clean their stalls, give them hay, give them water. But a fun perk that we get to do is groom them and give them a lot of love, lots of love.
I like to work here, take care of the animals.
The special ed kids and the regular ed kids develop friendships on that even playing field, and they'll go into the hallways and they see each other and they come and hang out on Saturdays, and it's a very social thing that we don't always see with our special ed population. So I recently received or won a $100,000 grant through Farmers Insurance Dream Big Challenge. I was one of 15 finalists from across the country that was nominated, and once we were nominated, we had to get votes from our community, the state. We actually had voters in Australia and Germany even. But they had to vote daily, and we got the most votes, showing the most support for our idea of the 3 finalists from our area. And we won. We hope to build a riding center for our school. We will offer community programs after school and on weekends. And we hope to draw people from all over the city.
Everything is great about Miss Kendall. Probably the greatest thing about her is that she listens. She always takes the time and consideration out of her to listen to what you have to say.
I get to teach the kids that you have to love your job. I love my job, and they see how much every day it's just easy to be so excited about what I do and why I do it. And I think that's really important for students.
How many times do you get to say, hey, I get to go to school and take care of a pregnant mare? Like,
I know, he pushes me out of the way. Like, you're blocking my shot.
Throughout the district, attendance is up and out-of-school suspensions are down. And here to tell us more about how CPS has made this happen is the Chief of College and Career Success, Aarti Dhupelia.
Hello, my name is Aarti Dhupelia, and I'm the Chief Officer for College and Career Success. Pillar 2 of our action plan demands we provide all students with systems of support that will help them to reach their full potential. But that potential can only be realized when students are in school. Beginning as young as preschool, students who are absent on a regular basis are more likely to struggle academically. Their grades and test scores are lower, and they're less likely to graduate from high school on time and to go on to college. For these reasons, we're working hard to remove the barriers that keep students away from school. We've revised our Student Code of Conduct, getting to the root cause of misconduct and teaching students to change their behavior rather than just handing out suspensions and expulsions that keep students out of school. This, along with other revisions to the SEC, has resulted in 26% fewer out-of-school suspensions since 2012. In school year 14, we piloted a comprehensive attendance plan designed to increase student attendance and decrease truancy. 6 months later, at the end of last school year, CPS reported an average attendance rate of 93.2%, and this was driven by improvements in attendance at every single grade level and in every single network. We arrived at these gains despite several obstacles, including the fact that last year's winter was one of the coldest in Chicago's history. Yet, some schools continue to struggle with chronic truancy. We have provided these schools with targeted supports, additional resources for after-school programming, social and emotional supports, and family and community engagement, with a particular focus on our students who are especially vulnerable to absenteeism. Our early childhood students, students with diverse learning needs, and students in temporary living situations. And we've not forgotten about the tens of thousands of students who have left CPS without a high school diploma. We continue to expand our option schools so that these students can return to school on their own terms and at their own pace. We've also opened 3 Student Outreach and Re-Engagement Centers, or SOAR centers, places where we reach out and bring back students who have left school or are at risk of dropping out. Since opening their doors last February, these centers have served approximately 2,500 students in some of our most chronically truant communities. But despite these recent successes, there is more work to be done. We will continue offering targeted supports to our at-risk populations and will strive to expand the offerings at our SOAR centers and our option schools. We will continue to engage students, families, and communities regarding the importance of attendance, and we will work to provide students the supports they need to be in school every day and on time. We will do everything possible to make sure that CPS students are in school, because only then can we provide them with the tools they need to be the leaders of tomorrow.
Joining us now today is Sean Jackson. He is the Deputy Chief in the Office of Teaching and Learning, and he's here today to tell us about a new program called CPS Connects and the valuable opportunities that it gives our students. So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jessica. I appreciate it.
Can you tell us a little bit about this program?
Yes, so CPS Connects is a partnership between the Chicago Public Schools and the Chicago City of Learning, supported by the MacArthur Foundation. The idea is that student learning can happen anywhere. Students use the Chicago City of Learning website to have virtual learning. Through that virtual learning, once they complete those tasks, it unlocks real live learning opportunities across the city of Chicago. We're using this program as a foundation for our personalized learning framework for the district. Personalized learning is an opportunity for students to take ownership over their own learning. And we use technology as a vehicle to give students access to content that is both relevant to them as well as given to them at their own pace. And so as students have this opportunity to have self-interest-based virtual learning that takes them beyond the constraints of their neighborhood, we can use this as a foundation to prepare them for our personalized framework in the future.
As a principal, you incorporated technology. What was your inspiration in doing so?
I saw a desperate need for our students to be able to take their learning beyond the classroom. I didn't want them to suffer because of the constraints of the neighborhood. I wanted them to give them an opportunity to expand their learning. So I might not be able to pay for a field trip to Egypt, but we can do a virtual field trip. And my students really respected that. The community got behind it, and it really allowed me to tailor learning experiences in a way that really engaged students.
How do students sign up and get involved with this program?
Sure, so they go on the Chicago City of Learning website. It's actually chicagoofcityoflearning.org/CPS. All they will need is their ID, and they can sign up right on the page. It's available to students all across Chicago public schools. We are targeting in our Claim Account campaign 3rd through 8th grade students, January 5th through January 30th.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Sean, and telling us about this program, CPS Connects. It sounds like an absolutely wonderful opportunity. And for those of you at home or in the classroom that are interested in signing up for this program, one more time, could you let us know that website?
Yes, chicagoCityofLearning.org/CPS. Claim your account.
Welcome to CPS News. Students and staff return to the classrooms feeling refreshed and ready to enjoy learning again after enjoying a 2-week winter break. Classes resume for CPS on Monday, January 5th, and along with the new year comes the opportunity to embrace new initiatives. Initiatives like the Chicago Higher Education Compact, which will focus on helping CPS graduates complete their college degrees. Through research and best practices, this group of education professionals hopes to raise the college graduation rate for our students to 60% by the year 2025. Turning to the arts, CPS is excited to announce a $10 million investment in arts education for the 2015-2016 school year. The district's Creative Schools Fund will add an additional $1 million, with all money going toward fully implementing our groundbreaking arts education plan. Investments are also being made in our STEM programs, where students are learning the technology skills they'll need to compete in a 21st century economy. Some of our STEM students recently invited their parents to spend a day shadowing them at school so that their families could catch them in action. Parents from STEM Magnet Academy marveled at their children's technology skills and got a glimpse of what it's like to be a CPS STEM student. Skills of an entirely different sort were on display at Marshall High School, where the Harlem Globetrotters recently paid a visit to the school's basketball teams. With their comedic style, these athletes taught the Marshall players some tricks never before seen on their basketball court. 25 years ago, CPS began giving parents, educators, and community members a stronger voice in managing their local schools. Let's see how the district commemorated this important milestone for its local school councils.
Thank you all for coming.
Hello, and thanks for joining us. Here we are at Lane Tech celebrating the 25th anniversary of local school councils.
As a local school council is a group of individuals, 12 in elementary schools and 13 in high schools, that their function is to support the school with academic achievement.
It's amazing that it's been here for 25 years. I mean, when it started, there was a lot of skepticism and, oh yeah, this is another thing the politicians are giving us. But I feel that over the years, it really has given a voice to the parents, to the community, and to the teachers. And now
Local school councils has such a great responsibility throughout the system. They are responsible for selecting the principal of the school. LSEs are responsible for the school improvement plan for the entire 2 years.
It's been awesome. It's been awesome to be able to help the community, not just the school itself and the kids, the students, my children, but the community. It's a great experience.
When you think about the children and the education and what's best for them, it keeps you moving on. And I loved every minute of it. And as you can see, I'm still loving it because I'm still here.
How can I run to be an LSE member if I don't know anything about that? Well, it doesn't matter. As soon as you come in on board, we will provide the trainings. We are providing online training in English and Spanish. And also, we have been certified 25 external partners to provide trainings to local school councils.
It is really a remarkable achievement. When you stop to think about all the changes in Chicago we've had, this is a part of the Chicago Public Schools that has not changed. It's gotten bigger and better.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Inside CPS. I'm Jessica Perez, and I thank you for tuning into this edition of our broadcast. If you have a story idea that you would like to see featured on an upcoming episode, we would love to hear from you. Email your idea to spotlight@cps.edu. We wish you all a very happy and healthy new year and look forward to sharing our stories with you next time. So be sure to tune in to Inside CPS.